how's it going? Hanging here with my very good friend Trey Xavier from the most excellent channel, Gear Gods. If you haven't checked out his channel, you really should. He's got a lot of amazing content. He's been doing it even longer than I have, I think. And you know, we've definitely partnered up with you guys on a number of things over the years, and it's so cool just to be sitting here in a studio checking out some things. But today I said something to Trey I thought I would never ever say to him in my entire life, and that was, holy shit, Trey, that is an amazing guitar sound. How the fuck did you get that? Full disclosure here, I've never been a huge fan of any of Trey's guitar sounds until today. What was the video? Isaac the editor, awesome Isaac, or Big Ike. We're gonna start calling him Big Ike.
Big Ike.
Big Ike. Big Ike the editor. He was working on a piece, and I was sitting in the other room doing my own thing, and I'm like, what is that tone? That sounds great. And what's the video?
So the video is my review of the Halo Salvis baritone guitar. And all I did was plug it straight into the Angle Savage 120.
Which I've got a review coming up very shortly on my show. We love you, Angle, by the way, and your stuff's fucking amazing.
When you plug into it, how could you not?
Yeah, it's fucking savage.
It's fucking savage as advertised.
Yes, it really is. But I was just really blown away by the tone, and I'm like, okay, well, what is that? Is that an IR? Is that a real cabinet? And
so the kind of, I don't want to say the secret, but really, I consider the cab sound to be the most important part of the whole thing.
Oh, I completely agree.
And also the easiest way to get variation, like good sounding variation out of your sound without doing like EQ or other kind of drastic post-production things, you know, just having a different cab IR, or what's in this case a blend of 4 different cab sounds.
Okay.
It allows you to get different things out of the same amp, drastically different things.
Yes, and then you can blend to taste and come up with something really fucking awesome. And okay, can we just play a clip here for a sec,
Sure,
just so they can hear what I was getting on about?
So here's what it sounds like.
Now that sounds really full. Can we hear that chunky part you were playing earlier?
I was going to say that's not the best.
Yeah, let's hear the chunky section. Let's hear it chunky style.
Chunk. Here we go.
I just love how articulate it is across the chords. You can just hear those strings, and it's just great. So killer amp, and then you've got a blend of 4 cabs. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about how we have this amp set up. So you have the amp, the speaker out of the amp going into what, a reload or what? Torpedo reload.
2 notes torpedo reload is my guitar center, like epicenter.
Okay, no, cool. It's a really cool piece of gear. I've got one back at Spectre. It's fantastic. Can you do us a favor? Can you bypass your cabinets there for a second? Let's just hear the tone by itself with no processing going on, so you can hear what's coming out of the back of the amp.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful sound.
Don't say you weren't warned.
That's actually not that shit.
No, it's not terrible, but you can still hear that articulation across the chords there, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about how you had the amp set up. We've got it over to the side here, so we're gonna run to some cutaways here. Okay, so you're on the lead channel, and is the gain high or low?
It was on low.
Okay.
Actually.
The contour is off, so it's kind of scooped a little bit. Bass is back to about the 10 o'clock position. Mids are just a little bit past 12 o'clock. Treble's a little bit higher. Tone balance is back off a little bit. What's that tone balance knob do?
It's pretty subtle. I'm not really 100% sure exactly what it does.
Okay.
I just turned it until I found a setting I liked.
Okay.
I didn't really think about it
and lead volume's about noon. Masters a little bit about noon. And then that's about it, really. All you're doing is just you're just on that channel. Oh, and presence A, presence B. Again, they're about 12, maybe 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So right in there. You don't have them really cranked high at all.
No, not really.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. When I was using a 5150, I'd always have my presence cranked. I'm never quite getting the sound I wanted. Maybe it's maybe going a little too high up on the presence.
There's 2 different types of guitar tones that I care about, okay? What the guitar sounds like by itself.
Yep.
which is almost useless to me in real world settings, because who cares what it sounds like by itself?
Right.
Okay.
But this to me sounds like something that work well in a mix as well.
You think so?
Yes, I think so.
That's good to know. But I feel like the second one is what a guitar tone sounds like in a mix, which is really the thing to me that matters.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. That's why we always do. Here's how it sounds in the mix tests.
Yeah, when I was dialing in this tone, I was like, I need it to sound really good in all the parts of the guitar tone, like the low end, the mids, the high end, like the complete picture of what a heavy guitar sounds like.
Sure.
In a mix, it would probably have a lot less low end.
Sure.
It feels like it's too much. If
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
Else,
Sold
even
up.
if you were, well, you could, for example, put like a multi-band compressor on it, or kind of like cut out the low end a little bit. This is not boosted. There's no tube screamer in front of it. Nothing like that. This is just straight up.
That's fucking cool, though. Like I said, I think it sounds great. Okay, so we've got our raw signal coming out of the amp. We're going into the computer via the torpedo reload. Now you've got 4 cabs up. Can we kind of break that up a little bit?
Sure.
Oh, and what else? You've got finality on there, which is something I've always stayed away from, is like, compressing a guitar. Why'd you go with that? I think that's actually contributing to the sound here, actually.
Okay, so I don't mix. I'm not a mix engineer. I think in terms of what I think would sound best in a mix, based on the kind of feedback I've gotten from mix engineers. But when it's just the guitar by itself, people want to hear what it sounds like, really right in your face. And I felt like what I was working with, it just wasn't present enough. It wasn't like popping out. Sure. And so I just grabbed my go-to compressor, which is Finality Light, actually, from
JST. Can you play that? Let's just see what's going on here. You're not adding much threshold down there, are you?
So I'll show you bypassed and on. So
that just really gives it some presence. And you just pull the threshold down. Let's see what happens now. Okay,
I mean, it's not even a ton of, honestly, it's like, I had it like here, it's like, the needle's not even really moving. Yeah. Honestly, like, it's possible that it wasn't even doing anything other than like
just turning
adding a little bit of the whatever coloration it has.
Yeah.
And then just making it louder. Like, I don't think it was even really adding compression proper.
That worked really great.
But
actually,
I just grabbed it and threw it on there. It's just one that I have that I use a lot.
Okay, super secret weapon there, Finality. It's kind of doing the trick. It basically looks like their version of the LA2A. So if you've got another piece of software that emulates an LA2A, and you don't have the GST plugin, you might want to check that out.
Yeah.
So, but here's where it gets interesting. You're using the Wall of Sound plugin now. I use Lancaster Pulse quite a bit, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it pulled up over here because I also had this on here to A/B with a couple different sounds, because when I'm blending cabs, sometimes I lose a little bit of perspective, and I like to pull up just like 157 on a cab, something super basic, and go like, is what I'm doing actually better?
Sure.
Sometimes it's not.
Okay, yeah, now full disclosure here, I'm a part owner of the Lancaster Audio Corporation, and Pulse is our free impulse loader for Pro Tools. It is one of the very few free impulse loaders for Pro Tools, so that's pretty cool. But Wall of Sound, yes, it's a little bit more robust in what you can do. Like, you can only load 2 IRs into Pulse, and this you can use 4. So why don't we break it down here and take a let's listen to what you got going on, because you were saying you EQ these IRs in different ways as well to help get them all working together. So let's take a listen here. I'm really curious to hear this.
So this one is sort of based around this SR25, which is
an Earthworks, Mike. What cabinet though?
This one's on the Marshall 1960V.
Ooh, which is
vintage.
Is that the one we borrowed from Warren? Or is that yours?
No, it's not mine. We borrowed it from somebody, but I don't think it was Warren.
Okay.
And it's my absolute favorite one for lead guitar.
Okay.
It's got like a ton of mid-range. I think almost 3 out of the 4 of these at least are vintage 30 based.
Okay, now let's don't forget to mention, this is coming from Trey's personal impulse response pack, available through Lancaster Audio. So these are Trey's, yes, exactly, Trey's custom IRs. I've been hearing these for a little bit now, and they're pretty damn cool. But the SR25, let's hear that soloed up.
Sure.
Yeah, this is something you don't normally get in a lot of IR packs, is something from Earthworks, because it's a very unique sound. It's super cool though. Let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Again, it's got that sponginess. Cool. And do you got what do you got?
Nice.
Yeah. What do you got going on EQ wise? Anything?
Actually, on this one, all the EQ is bypassed, so you're hearing the
just the raw IR.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got a 1960V. What's this one over here?
One? Oh, so this is the ribbon mic. It's an R21. So.
Ooh, okay. So this is a Royer.
Yeah.
And again, this is something a lot of engineers will pair up with a 57. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Because 57's a little honky. Doesn't have a ton of low end. Sure. And I've been a bit concerned recently with the low end because people point out that my guitar tones have been a bit brittle, and so usually I'm inclined to tell people to fuck off, but after a while, honestly, I was kind of like, maybe you're right.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'll listen to feedback. Yeah. All right, let's solo it out. So what I've done here is I've extensively EQ'd this.
Oh wow, what do we got going on here? Can you take the EQ in and out so we can hear what's going on?
Yes, I'll turn the EQ on and off so you can hear what I'm doing. So when I have it turned on, it sounds like there's a blanket on top of it. Like it's very dark.
It sounds like ass. Yeah.
If that was the only mic that you had on there, that would sound like shit.
That would totally sound like shit. But you're combining this. Okay, so where are you boosting?
I just wanted to get basically just the low end, the punchy kind of like.
So what frequencies are you boosting there?
I'm boosting 360 and 800 just a little bit, but the main thing is that I've rolled off the high end 2K and 6K.
Okay, so 360 and 200, and what about
800?
Oh, and 800. Okay, 360. Yeah, so 360 is going to be like the very bottom of the mid range, and then 800 is quite a bit of mids as well. But yeah, it just sounds like you've taken that out. Now let's play that and then solo in the let's put the SR25 in with it and see what happens.
Okay.
And mute the other one. Okay, that's super cool. Yeah, so you see, the first mic is a nice bass line, and then that second mic is just kind of filling in, some of the low mids and whatnot, and giving it a lot of girth. That's super fucking cool. I really like that technique. So that's something new.
Thanks.
That's very clever, Trey. What's the third mic you got going on?
So this is the Legacy. It's a Carvin Legacy cab that we did. It says Fredman, but when you get all the way to the end, it says Fredman on axis. So this is actually just a 57.
This is the bright mic in a Fredman pair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason that I use this one a lot is because it has my favorite just high end, like very high end.
Okay.
It's very bright and present, but it's not harsh, and that's why I like it a lot. So what I've done here is I've taken this low cut knob.
Oh wow.
That's in Wall of Sound. And I cranked it up to, let's see, here it says 328.
Okay, so you're basically going to get the mid-range and the top end, but almost no bottom end. Let's hear that by itself. Okay.
So it's real snarly and very bright. It's aggressive, but it's not. But I don't think it's that harsh. So I like to use this instead of going in and like boosting some high end or something for an EQ. I'll just blend in more of this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't have any post EQ going on. You've done all your EQing just by combining IRs, and that's probably one of the reasons this sounds so huge. So let's hear that. Let's hear that soloed up, and then bring in 2 and then 1 together. Let's see how that all fits together.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, it's like that low mid-rangey boost thing on the 121. That is just critical to making this sound happen, though. That's really super cool. Okay, and finally the last one, though. This isn't one of yours. This is actually a 2-notes cab. You were telling me.
Yeah.
Let's check this out.
So I know that all of mine are perfectly phase accurate, so I can just dump them in as many as I want, and it's never going to be a problem in terms of phase. When you're blending in other ones, cabs from other companies, you have to be a little bit careful. Okay. Wall of Sound has this verify thing where you can bump it slightly. I don't think I've done that at all with this. But it's a thing that
whatever you're doing, it's working.
So this is Brit Green 3, and it's a 4038 ribbon. I don't actually know.
Brick Green 3 will probably be a greenback speaker, which is a 25 watt, which is awesome. I think I like the Brick Green 3, but what's the mic you're using?
It says ribbon 4038. I don't know what
that's a Coles 4038 microphone. It's a very expensive ribbon mic that most of us don't have access to. So there you go.
Yeah, so that's nice.
It's one of the ones with the mesh holes in it.
Oh yeah,
the
one of the
big
ones
holes.
where if you breathe on it too hard, it'll break.
Exactly, one of those.
Have to kill yourself because it's $1 million.
I used to pair the Coles for 4038s on the Vias record we did at Phase 1. That was my first set of drum room mics. They're just gorgeous mics. They sound great. Let's hear that soloed up. Let's hear what that's all about. Okay, it's another dark mic. So do you have any EQ going on? Because it's a really dark sound.
Currently, no.
Okay, and that's the thing. A lot of ribbon mics are going to be a slightly darker sound. Have you done any positioning to get that sound? Have you like moved it over to the side a little bit?
That's a great question.
Don't move it if you have.
I know. I'm like.
Yeah, you've got this dialed in. Let's not fuck this up.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with it. It appears no. Oh, okay. So you can see these knobs.
Distance
and center. They're both at 0. So
okay, you've got a dead center.
It's just a very dark mic.
Okay.
But to me, it's like the peanut butter in your sandwich. You know, it just
kind
of really fills it out, glues it together. In a nice
exactly.
way.
So here's an idea. Let's bring these in and bring that one in last. So we'll start with. Why don't you go with this one, then that one.
Okay.
And we'll just check that out. Yeah, that last mic just brings in just a tiny bit more mid-range, it sounds like. Not a lot of top, not a lot of bottom, but it just hits it right at the right frequency.
When I first heard this cab sim sound, I was just going through the 2 notes of the store, whatever. You can like try them out.
Yep.
You can like kind of rent them.
Oh, I know.
Borrow them. And I hit this one and I was like, whoa, hey, oh, whoa, what's this? Obviously by itself doesn't sound like much, but really does it for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I mean, like I said, that's probably the best tone I've ever heard you get.
Thank you.
That's a really fantastic job. So there you go.
Generally what I'm doing all around is when I plug something in, I just go in and I tweak these 4 mics, just the volume amounts back and forth.
Okay.
Like
and this
if I go,
this you've got the volumes all pretty much equal.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I want it brighter, I'll just turn this one up.
Yep.
Turn this one. If the amp's too bright or too dark, whatever, I mess with it here.
And that's the smart way to do it. I mean, like, it's like anybody will tell you the last thing you want to resort to when you're engineering is EQ. It's either make the sound brighter or darker by moving the mic because you get a much cleaner sound. And here you haven't even done any EQ. That's what's really impressive here. You've got such a massive fat sound and you haven't touched a single bit of post EQ. All you're doing is turning shit up and down and blending with the cabs. Now the cabs do have a little bit of EQ on them, but they're more roll-offs than anything.
Yeah, it's just, I have to consider, like I said, each part of the sound at any given moment, and each one of these cabs does one thing really, really well that I like. Yeah. And I try to find the one that has the best low end, the best mid range, whatever, the best high end.
Sure.
And then I made a mutant super cab.
Right. That's really fucking cool, dude. Like, nice job. So
thank you.
So there we go. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Grab Pulse if you want. It's free. I think Wall of Sound you can get for, if not free, it's a very reasonable price as well.
I think you have to just buy one cab from them, and then you can use the plugin for free.
But definitely check out the Trey Xavier Impulse Pack from Lancaster Audio. Again, link in the description below, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully you guys found this tutorial a little bit more in-depth and hopefully a lot more informative than most of my stuff. And if you liked it, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and head over to Gear Gods. Check out Trey's channel as well. He's got some really cool reviews and cool shit like that. Thanks for being on the show, Trey.
Hey, I really appreciate it.
All right. Until next time, let's make some great music together.